So our topic for today's session is the Wellness Assistant, which is a new industry-first solution for employee health and well-being. In a nutshell, it's an online platform which is designed to help employers identify risk factors in their workforce. And it's very much a holistic approach, so whether that's physical, mental, financial health. Basically how it works is the employee takes a confidential questionnaire about their health, and that information is run through some pretty complex algorithms to give them an instant health age, which they can then compare to their actual age. Then we direct the employee to health and wellbeing resources, including videos and interactive modules to boost their physical, mental, and financial health. And the real value, though, for the employer is in using this data, which is all anonymized, and it can guide workplace wellbeing programs from there to make positive changes. Now, before we go any further, I actually have a short animated video, which I think explains the program very well and gives you an idea of its value to employees and businesses. So I'll just share my screen now.
Hi, welcome to the Wellness Assistant. This program has been specifically designed to improve your well-being and safety at work and in life. We spend most of our day at work, so it's important that it works for us. You know how old you are? Well, hopefully you do. But do you know how old you are in terms of your health? The Wellness Assistant analyses all of your personal info and turns this into a health age. This age could be different or similar to your actual age. It will tell you a lot about your well-being and what steps you can take to improve it. It does this by using complex algorithms based on thousands of research papers and studies. It also provides heaps of valuable data that will help employees all over the world work in better conditions. Pretty cool, right? We want to build safer, healthier working environments, but this starts with you. This entire program is strictly confidential. Not even your name, email, or date of birth is collected. We don't share individual answers with anyone. Your organisation will only receive a summary of everyone's results, which will help them to make positive changes. So it's really important you enter your information truthfully. Questions about your health and workplace environment are all important. Please be aware even the smallest change in your answer will affect the accuracy of your health age. So take your time and complete it thoroughly. It usually takes around 15 minutes to complete, but there's no need to rush. Remember, for most people, their workplace is their second home, and you deserve your second home to be a place where you feel comfortable, safe, healthy, and happy. Once you're done, you'll receive a personalised health report. You can save it and print it out if you like. Then you'll have access to educational videos that will help you on your wellbeing journey. And that's it. Thanks for taking part and for doing your bit towards creating healthier, safer workplaces.
So as you can see from the video, it's a quick, sort of simple solution that you can roll out to employees and capture some really valuable insights about the health of your workforce. Chris, I know you and your team have actually done a lot of work to get the program up and running. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Wellness Assistant came into being and what are the problems it solves for employers?
Yep, no problem, Andrew. Part of my work at AEP Health Group, we would go out and conduct many face-to-face assessments on site in South Australia and across Australia nationally. And you can all appreciate they're very costly, they're time-consuming, and they're a logistical nightmare for organisations. And we sat down long and hard, and we recognised there had to be a quicker and easier way to manage the health of employees. And we came up with the Wellness Assistant as a solution to that problem. So what we found that within a 4 to 6 week period, we could assess an entire organisation, get a snapshot of the health and wellbeing of that organisation, and report back to management in a quick space of time. Where the face-to-face assessments would take anywhere of up to 6 or 7, 8 months to complete, and then that turnaround data took a very, very long time. So the other advantage we've got with the Wellness Assistant, it goes beyond physical, mental health. It also assists HR in workforce planning and company culture, and provides insights on the effects of COVID-19, which is a recent update that we put in, as well as, very importantly, workplace safety. But the main point of difference, as you saw in the video, was the program is extensively backed by scientific research. It was 8 years of development under Professor Kevin Norton, exercise and sports science of the University of South Australia, and it's his research that put the foundation of this program into play. On the back end, it's got over 80,000 lines of algorithms that are used by the World Health Organization data. So the accuracy of the health age is crucial for the employee, knowing that they're going to get something accurate, and also for the employer to find out, okay, where do we go with our wellness programs going forward, and how can we target specific interventions?
And in terms of, people may be watching and thinking, how do I know my employees will be engaged with the program? What ways do you make sure employees actually want to take part?
Yeah, look, it's not just another survey. It's been designed to engage with employees, because traditionally going out and doing face-to-face assessments, they were very boring. You just gave a risk factor score and the person would go away and not really know what to do with that risk factor score. When you give someone a health age, it's very personal and it creates a lot of discussion in the workplace. And we've seen from the companies we've rolled it out with, we've had a 60 to 70% uptake rate, where traditionally with health assessments, we're lucky to get a 10 to 15% return rate on a national average. So it's the accuracy of that health age with all the scientific research that really gets people interested in talking. And it's something that we've clearly seen with organisations we've worked with. As soon as one person gets their health age, they want to compare it with someone else. So that's the hook that we use to gather all the other information we want. And look, I really want to emphasise that it goes beyond just a health assessment. We do cover workforce planning and culture, financial wellbeing, and most importantly, safety in the workplace. And having all those assessments in one tool can reduce the amount of surveys that go out to employees and prevent survey fatigue as well, which is happening a lot in the current era.
Absolutely. And I also understand that confidentiality is an important part, obviously, of the program and how it's designed. What can you tell us about that aspect of it?
So that was a critical part, because we know if the data we collect is anonymous, it's going to be more accurate. And working with the unions and getting it over the line with the unions, that was a prerequisite, that was a non-negotiable with the unions. And even with our own internal research, we found that when people are working on an online platform where they are in an anonymous situation, their accuracy of data is far greater than a face-to-face assessment as well. It's easier to say I have 4 or 5 serves of alcohol online rather than face-to-face with a person.
Absolutely. So for the next part of the session, we're just going to take a look at a sample report that you would receive as an employer through the Wellness Assistant. So
traditionally, there will be a written summary in terms of the report, which is specific to your organisation. Now, with the data that we've presented here today, we can clearly see that the health age of the organisation is greater than the actual average age of the organisation. So that points to an area of physical wellbeing and areas of intervention which may involve obesity, healthy eating, activity levels. So we can specifically target, according to the rest of the results, what is impacting this health age. We can also see 10% have any issues with cardiovascular health. So really bang for your buck. Probably not worth doing many interventions that specifically target cardiovascular health. However, when we look at stress, you can say, okay, an intervention where a psychologist or a mental wellbeing person may come in, consultant, to address the group as a whole, may help reduce levels of stress. And when we look at physical injuries, that's another area where if we see that significantly high, that can be addressed also. But there's also areas of the assessment where we get data that we can see that we just cannot change. If it's a sedentary job, then we're going to expect a high level of sedentary behaviour, and that's fine. So there's, again, things that we can change and things that we can't change. Now, again, targeting interventions, we may find that an organisation and their employees are recording higher levels of being irritated and stressed. Again, targeting that particular intervention may reduce in staff retention. It may improve, obviously, keeping your same crew working together for a lot longer and impacting that specific area that we want. And even with COVID-19, we know that's had an impact on some organisations compared to others. Now, if there is any issues in terms of what we're seeing there with having a negative impact on finances, it may be some workshops on financial planning, budgeting, ensuring the wages are on par. Again, to help retain staff retention is a key part as well in this section. Okay, in terms of the risk factors, there was one particular organisation that I worked with, and the HR person was extremely concerned with smoking rates. And this is actual data from that organisation, which showed that 84% of their staff actually didn't smoke. But it was the repeat people that she kept seeing, which she thought was a high number. So rolling out an intervention on reducing smoking is, again, not going to be bang for your buck. And employment information, this is an area where, again, we find it's overlooked a little bit in terms of large organisations. knowing the engagement of an organisation and what opportunities people have, again, assist in staff retention. So if we find that organisations are fully engaged, great working environment, things are ticking along beautifully, others that aren't engaged, come up with strategies on how to improve engagement. Because when an organisation has high levels of engagement, success rates are high. And when we go to actual workplace conditions, this was all from Safe Work Australia, this particular section of the assessment. So if there's any red flags in this particular area, they need to be addressed very, very quickly. And a couple of key areas that I do highlight that are common amongst workplaces is changing of workplace tasks and standards. That is something that gets overlooked by a lot of organisations, where when it's reported, more time can be spent on inductions, more time can be spent on education of different roles. And the other one is reporting of incidents in terms of getting the stigma of going on work coupled to any psychological mental health issues. So if we see that there's a large report rate of incidents in that bottom category, as we saw there, interventions where a psychologist may come in and assist with stress, anxiety and sleeping behaviours may be a very pointed intervention that you may have. So as you can see, it encompasses a lot of results. And just to give you an idea, we ran a quick little survey with a couple of CEOs on what he thought the data was going to come out. We got 10 multiple choice questions and you got 2 out of 10. So it's not always obvious on what areas need intervention and work on.
You can see there how valuable the platform is as a risk management tool, and even to reduce things like the risk of litigation, really a way of identifying and addressing problems in the workplace before they get out of control. So an important factor always to consider with a new product is cost, Chris. If companies are interested in taking the Wellness Assistant on, what can they expect to pay?
And one of the main areas of the Wellness Assistant was to make it very affordable, especially in current times where budgets are being tighter held. So keeping that in mind, there's a flat fee of $1,850. That's to start up an organisation. It includes education, some workshops on how the program runs and some advertising within the organisation. And then we use a cost per participant sliding scale. So if it's up to 1,500 employers, it's $20 per participant, 1,500 to 3,000, $18, 3,000 and above, $16. So it's only on a user pay per assessment. And also keep in mind that the traditional assessments range between $80 to $120 per person.